Your performance might be graded.
Well, then I eagerly anticipate failing this.
It is test time.
I tried to turn my microphone on and realized that you have taped them on.
Yeah, I put tape on them so you can't accidentally turn them off while you're doing whatever the hell you're doing.
Oh, shit.
So, happy anniversary, first of all.
Happy anniversary.
We have done 4 full podcasts now.
How's it an anniversary?
Well, it's like a month or... It's like...
What's our 1 month?
Well, I feel like us doing anything 4 weeks in a row is pretty much a success.
I guess that means we have to go to Olive Garden and celebrate our 1 month.
I'll meat sauce the shit out of this. I can't eat the pasta these days. It makes me sick. Especially whatever they would call pasta at the Olive Garden. They're one of those. Olive Garden to me is that tier of like, is it food with a big question mark afterwards.
Free breadsticks, man.
I know. Believe me, I've heard Virgil's pitches over and over again. Free breadsticks, the what is it? The unlimited salad and pasta, the meat sauce. I've heard it all.
That's a man that knows how to get the most out of his dollar.
Dude, I know you don't do Instagram, but that guy has an amazing Instagram. Not only does he's just the blurbs he writes or the captions for the photos are just fantastic. I highly recommend anyone downloading the Instagram app just to follow Lonely Virgil's page for his post. But yeah, and nice to have you here. It's finally that you finally showed up.
I'm a little late today. I'm sorry.
Late. I think you've been coming later and later.
I don't think that's the case at all.
You're so late today that you're calling out of work because your hard out isn't about.
No, listen, I'm calling
40 minutes.
I'm calling out of work because I'm tired.
Yeah, but this would have been a really abbreviated podcast in any case if you weren't.
Yeah, no, would not have worked out.
Yeah, so that's
And
so here it is. You're working too hard now. You're having to call out days.
The discussion,
I can't even imagine.
The discussion on quitting one of these the 2 jobs I have is it's reached that fervor pitch where now I just have to go to my other job and go, hey, look, if you want me exclusive, just do A, B, and C. And by A, B, and C, I mean just
pay me.
Pay me.
That's all I would care about.
No,
I'm in the market for a new job. I like my job. I like who I work for, but I work over an hour away. And then when you factor in that the job we've taken is another like 45 minutes north.
Oh.
And then this week, because of all that, we run late and then we drive down and then I get to the station and then all of a sudden the trains are on an hourly schedule because it's later at the night. And I get home, by the time I get home from the train station, it's 9:15 at night. And I'm like, oh, so I get 2 hours to do shit before I got to pass out to get up early in the morning again. That ain't cutting it. Man. So we'll see how that goes. But
you're almost working the same day I am. You're only just doing one job.
Right. I'm only getting paid for one job. And a shitload of those hours I'm not getting paid for. A lot of travel hours.
All those weird train people you must see.
Train? Oh, the train people. That's the first time I ever took, like, the first week, not the first time, but the first week, my welcome to the Tri-Rail story was a guy puking in the trash can between, there's the first level, and then you walk up to the second level, but there's like a mid-level. At the end of the train on both sides, there's like a mid-level, which is a lot shorter, and you go up that, and then you turn around and you go up another set of steps to the second level. But in that mid-level, there's like, I don't know, a small amount of seats, but there's also like a garbage can there. And I just was watching a guy puking in it for like a good 15 minutes. And I'm like, all right, I've seen a guy, real twitchy dude, on like all the drugs that sat like not next to me, but across the aisle next to me. And he couldn't sit still. He was just freaking out. And like, it's one of those things where you see it out of the corner of your eye, and then you start watching it, and then you go reach to grab your phone to film it. But as you pull it out and start recording, like, it's over. And so that's what happened. As soon as I hit record, he, like, within seconds got up and had to move. Yeah. Which, I mean, watching him, I was like, I didn't know if he was going to freak out if he was going to stab his own eyes out, if he was going to throw up all over himself or shit his pants. I knew something was going to happen, but instead he got off the train. Now, the thing I just remembered about it was that he also didn't have shoes on. He was just in socks. He was dressed like in jeans and a shirt and just had socks on. Got on the train, sat down, switched seats a couple times, acted twitchy, and then got off the train. I think he got off the train because he couldn't deal with the train. But I watched him through the window walking away barefoot to on some random station. I don't think it was his stop.
Man just likes free feet.
I don't think it was his stop, and I don't remember if it was cold or not. But it stood out very plainly that he had no shoes on. And there's still like loud, obnoxious people and people that like watch their YouTube videos or whatever with no headphones, really loud.
Train stories are the best stories. I remember once I was going to a wedding in South Carolina. Me and my friend took a train up there, and it was a 30-hour train ride. Halfway through the train, the gentleman sitting across from us, but two seats in front of us, so we could see. So if I was sitting on the aisle seat, he was sitting on the aisle seat, so I could see he had a laptop and I could see what he was typing. You know, it's mostly whatever. At some point during the night,
I know what you're gonna say. He switched
starts
to porn.
watching gay porn.
Yeah. Oh, gay porn.
Starts
Even
watching
better.
gay porn.
Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it is an added dimension.
But gay porn, not necessarily on headphones. Just low on his computer. Just enough, just high enough where you can kind of figure out what's happening.
You're thinking you're hearing something, but you're not quite sure.
Exactly. And me and my friend...
Enough to investigate.
Me and my friend, everyone's got their headphones in. So, and I had taken my headphones out to go to the bathroom, came back, saw what was happening, and did the nudge. So we're both kind of watching this guy watch gay porn, and finally at some point I'm like, bro, this is crossing a weird line here. So let's just concentrate on what we're doing, and let's let that gentleman have his whatever.
Because at a certain point you realize you're watching gay porn.
Exactly. And not only that, you're watching someone watch gay porn,
and you know it's not like you're sitting there for 10 minutes waiting for the girl to show up. That's your excuse.
Yeah.
No, this is.
You know what's happening. So,
in that situation today, I would pull the phone out and we would film him doing it while we do commentary.
Oh yeah, this was years ago.
Right,
there was none of this.
Yeah.
So we stop at a stop, and everyone gets off for a smoke break, and we had been in that train for about 15, 16 hours. So we were like, let's get off, and we had a little bit of the devil's lettuce with us.
Right.
So it's just like let's cool down a little bit. We'll get dinner on the train, and then we'll continue on.
This is like Amtrak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's only one. I just assume everything's Amtrak.
Yeah. So we're out. We're off. We take my pipe, go to the back of the train, take a few hits. We're coming back, and the dude's there, leaning against the pole with a cigarette, smoking, and it's just kind of like, it's the not so dirty secret, but like it. So it's just like there's this weird vibe you get when you're walking by him. You're just like, all right, dude, like here we go again. It's gonna be another 16 hours of staring at the back of our seats, so we're not caught watching gay porn because that's just fucking weird. He stops us. He goes, "Hey guys, you guys do any drugs?" And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "I got Molly, man. If you want to like hit a Molly." Like I've been fucked up the entire train ride, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" Not only was he watching gay porn, he was completely fucked out of his mind. Now that we're close to the guy, we're looking in his eyes, and there's just nothing.
They're
fucking
just
back
his
there.
eyes are vibrating.
Yeah.
Dilated pupils, and he's not making eye contact. He's more looking at the aura around you or whatever.
So
yeah.
So to make the story better, at that stop, his quote unquote friend (parentheses) comes on the train. So now
those aren't when you do the double bunny
quotes?
ear quotes.
Yeah, what the fuck are they?
And then say parentheses.
Parentheses, fucking
when you
whatever.
just said their air quotes.
Air quotes. Yeah.
Quote friend.
Quote
not.
friend? Oh.
I'm just like it was just funny that you
I
did
don't fucking know.
You did the sign for quotes.
Yeah.
You then called the quotes later, but said It's just funny. That's just,
anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
you know.
so his friends on the fucking train are sitting next to him, and they're literally watching gay porn. And then I realized, oh my god, they're both on. Because he had given
Are
his
they at
friend
least
one.
like giving
So
each
they're
other
both on Molly.
each giving
And
each other
there was a part.
the downstairs handshake.
There was a part I didn't see it because my friend was like, "Bro, like, do you think they're doing something?" And I'm like, "I'm not looking, man." And he's like, "No, we got to look." And I'm like, "No, we really don't have to look.
We gotta look.
Yeah, it's like we have to get."
I feel like your friend's being recruited.
Like
at this
we
point,
know,
when
we
it's
know
like we
what's
gotta
happening, and he just wants like that confirmation it's happening. But we're like the only ones on the train that know it's happening for some reason. It's like this weird thing where like no one else
You
has
think
caught on
you
to
think you're the only ones on the train.
Well, yes,
Someone else probably had peripheral vision.
probably there was probably everyone in that car kind of had the idea of what was going on.
Right.
Now, well, and he told me because he like stood up to look like he was looking at the light and just like glanced over. He goes, bro, I think they're like, you know, like their hands. And I'm like, listen, man, we need to stop there because if they're giving each other fucking hand jobs, fucking 10 feet from us, all hopped up with mollies and shit. The only thing we can pray for is they don't start ass fucking before like, you know, the next stop comes about because
You also don't want to be in like the splatter zone.
the splash. We're in the splash seats in the front row. And it was just weird.
You're like at a Gallagher concert and you're just doing the math if you're enough rows back where you don't need a poncho.
And it's just weird because that on that same train ride, there was an accident on the tracks, much like your story, of having an accident on the tracks and
where they hit somebody.
Yeah, we were stuck in was it Jacksonville? I think it was Jacksonville. We were stuck in Jacksonville for over 4 hours and just stopped in the middle of a fuc's train. They ran out of food. And
That seems hard to do on a train.
Listen, man, this was that train coming back from New York. It goes all the way up and all the way back.
Right, but there's lots of places that to restock.
Look, man, I'm not. I know nothing about how these trains stay.
I don't either.
Stay going, but and I saw like a dude like flip out while he was on the train because there's no food. He's like, I gotta feed my kid. 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 And we're all just like, we're not. It's been an hour and a half, man. Like, calm down. People are like offering snacks and shit because it's not like we've been on the train 16 hours. Everyone's out of everything and real panic setting in. No, it's an inconvenience. And an hour after that, he opened the door, grabbed his kid, and just ran off into the wilderness.
That almost sounds made up, but I know
that's
that's
not made up at all.
What? I don't understand.
This is why I believe train stories are the best stories because, you know, trains are one of the last forms of travel that, like, I don't know how to put this because, like, people take buses, but, like, how many people really take trains on their day-to-day commute in, like, Florida? It's not that many people. It's more than you would assume, but it's still not, like, a giant portion of the population. And it's just like this, and they all know each other. I'm pretty sure, like, you see regulars every day.
Yeah. Yeah,
so you get to kind of, like, form a community after a while.
Well, I wouldn't talk to any of these people.
Well, you don't talk to anybody anyway. And I don't blame you, because they're all probably fuck shows.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just funny because...
Not on my commute. I mean, at least headed up
in
the morning, it's more like people going to work. They're not the, like, middle of the day.
And it's a fine form of transportation. Like, I like riding on trains. It's just that every time I've ever been on a train, I've met weird fucking people. Every time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine, but... That's why I like we do a whole series. Like maybe one day we'll do a podcast on a train and just like just go up and down. I don't know. You have to like.
I think we just sit there and just it's like people watching. We just talk about people that we're looking at.
Oh my god.
They might get offended as they hear us.
And it's funny because like when I was up in New York with the wife and we took the train into the city and whatnot, those are just general everyday people, and that's how they commute because no one owns a car up there. But down here, it's just different. And people won't understand that unless they come down. Which is why they're talking about doing that bright line all the way to Orlando. I'm like, that's going to be very interesting.
Well, that people would use.
Yeah. Like, then you're going to start bringing the common person, and it's going to be more open
But that's not a work commute, I don't think. I mean, it might be if you're staying over.
Well,
like
I'm sure there's a lot of
few
people
nights.
that do business in Orlando and whatnot. It would make it easier.
Yeah, but they're not commuting from, like, Fort Lauderdale to Orlando on a daily basis.
No. I guess they could start.
I still think the travel time's too much.
Yeah,
You'd just get a place up there for 3 days.
It's got to be a hell of a job, Ben.
You'd work. You'd just move there at that point.
You'd almost have to get free blowjobs every time you got in the office.
Or on the train.
I don't know if you want a blowjob on that train.
It might make the train ride more palatable.
Yeah, but I don't know about the quality of that blowjob.
But brother, you just close your eyes and hope there's no chin whiskers.
A tongue's a tongue, right?
Well, to some people, I guess.
I think this is going to get us flagged for something within the community.
We're not getting kicked off. There's multiple platforms. Well, if you get kicked off one, there's another, and to be honest, there's no monetizing of this yet. So if we get flagged for demonetization, I won't.
Do we even have a viewer count of our last couple podcasts? Do we know?
No, not really. I don't know. See, I put it on Facebook and I put it on YouTube, but no, I haven't been promoting this at all yet. Also, it's weird. YouTube, we don't have many subscribers because, again, we just started this, and the thing we were doing before, the vlogs, was like 2.5 years ago, and that thing also we made more of an emphasis of putting on Facebook. So most of our views of any of the videos we make, or these, I guess I call this a video because we upload it as video, but there's no pictures, just us talking. But the counts are mostly from Facebook at this point right now, and I don't know what they count as a view. I don't know if it just running because you haven't scrolled up enough on the screen counts. I don't know. Like the Pizza Rumble, I'd like for not promoting it like we did the first one. The first one we promoted for like a month. Made all these graphics. People cut promos. People were posting and shit talking and yada yada. We had like 2,200 views to date. Most of it back. Most of those numbers are from when it happened. And this one we had like 660. And it's like, if that's quarter of the numbers of the first one for not doing anything. Literally just kind of like mentioning it the day before on our social media and then going live and then some people sharing it after the fact and tagging each other in it. Yeah. I mean, it's okay. If those are actual views, I have no idea. Maybe I look and all the views are like the when you look at the numbers, it's viewed for like 2 minutes. And then after that, the percentage of people that stick with it drops 90%. I don't know, but
it was my camera work, I'm sure.
It wasn't terrible. I kind of scrolled through it. I went through it I didn't watch it, but I just kind of dragged the bar across and watched it in kind of like quadruple speed to just make sure everything was filmed, and I hadn't uploaded like a blank video. It seems like I'll probably edit it down to like a 5-minute video and upload that as well, so that people can see like a highlight kind of greatest hits of it. Because it's a long watch. It's over an hour.
Slow-mo, you're falling backwards as you sit down at the end.
Oh, the defeat. I don't know if I was filmed of actually sitting down in shame. I was filmed sitting on the toilet.
You were filmed sitting on the toilet. I forgot about that. Oh,
that's
man.
In there. I almost made that the thumbnail picture for the video.
Bro.
Maybe on the highlight one I'll do it.
That's good enough for a profile picture, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you're throwing out a lot of decent suggestions. Another decent suggestion that was thrown out, that if I have the money to waste on something, is We were talking about making a TikTok account. You look at me funny. Were you paying attention on the thread during this part of the discussion?
Today?
No, it wasn't today.
No.
People were suggesting that I make one for farting on the internet to like music and stuff, and I said we should like make it more Breakfast Club theme though. Maybe make a lucha mask that kind of is like Breakfast Club, like patterns or something like. So I'm looking. I've kind of discarded the TikTok idea for now, and just am now enamored in making some lucha masks that are for us that are breakfast themed. I don't know why this appeals to me or why I've brought it up, but I'm watching you eat chicken nuggets while I haven't eaten today, and I'm just thinking about food now.
I'm sorry, man.
Thinking and talking about food.
Yeah, I haven't eaten in 12 hours, so it was fantastic to get some food in my stomach
terrible.
before
I
this
haven't
podcast.
Eaten, yeah, that's fine. Today's the big debut of the XFL. I don't know if you've paid attention to it at all.
Only
I've seen ads for it.
Only people on ESPN struggle to talk about it, which is hysterical because they don't want to take it seriously, but it is going to be a thing for at least another season.
It's hard. It's hard to talk about something that has not happened yet, and that there's no, even like if you want to talk about training camp or whatever it is, where these guys are training to play and get in shape and learn the rules and the plays and stuff, that there's not a lot to talk about there too, because we don't know the players. There's probably like 3 names out of college and 2 guys that may have done something in the pros and fizzled out.
I know 2 names: Bob Stoops and Landry Jones. That's it.
Landry Jones.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's the only 2 names I know.
There's a lot of the coaches' names I recognize or know who they are. I couldn't off the top of my head tell you who they are without looking them up. But when I hear the name, I'm like, oh yeah, I know that guy. I think I'm interested. I'm not interested in seeing like lower than college level football, So hopefully it's of some quality. But I am curious to watch with these new rules. They've done some tweaking that interests me. I think like and jump in wherever you want here, but I think they're trimming the time of the game a lot. Like the play clocks being trimmed. There's no stopping the clock until like within, I think the clock just runs. Maybe if you call a timeout, but 2 timeouts. So they're trimming it there. And I know that like within the last 2 minutes of each half, I think they then will stop the clock.
She's all new to me, in oddly
well,
enough.
that's why I'm going to run down the rules.
And like oddly enough, like I was going to make this statement anyway. There really hasn't been like a build, an excitement. Like I will grant the first time around.
Well, it's hard. I think next year you could show highlights from this year and do that kind of stuff. Or week 2, there'll be better build because you'll have some video.
Yeah.
You'll have some product to show.
You have nothing right now.
Right.
There's just a bunch of logos, a bunch of names on some paper, and some TV contracts.
It's harder to promote than like the week before, like the build up to the first season of the lingerie football league, because at least you had hot chicks you could throw in lingerie and go. You'll see these girls playing football soon enough with eye black,
Yeah.
but
where
this
are they playing these games?
I mean, they have places. I mean, they're probably smaller stadiums. They're not going to play them in like 60,000.
Is it a smaller field?
But it's not going to be like arena football. It's going to be a regular football field.
Okay.
So they have that. They have some kickoff. They want to like eliminate. They want to encourage more going for it than punting. So there's some rules on the kicking stuff that's interesting. But I think there were 2 things that they have like. They also have like an extra ref to help place the ball quickly. So the time's like they want to just have a better pace of the game, because a lot of people bitch about the in the NFL. There's a lot of stoppages and we're sitting around and waiting and stuff. But they have a couple interesting rules. They have one where you can have 2 forward passes if both of them are behind the line of scrimmage, which is kind of cool. As opposed to the first one having to be a lateral or a backward pass to the next guy that can.
Huh.
So that's, I mean, it doesn't change a lot, but you could take a 7-step drop, throw forward, and if that guy's still behind the line of scrimmage, then he can roll around and throw forward again, which could be interesting. The most interesting rule, I think, though, is that there's no extra point kick after touchdown. You have to either go for a 1-point play at like the 2-yard line, a 2-point play from the 5-yard line, or you can go for a 3-point play
From the 10?
From the 10. And I think that's going to eliminate a lot of ties. It's also going to be really interesting at the end. Like, you don't have a game. It's like, how like instead of like you're like, oh, it's 8 points.
Yeah.
It's still a 1 point. It's still a 1-score game. Now 9 points is technically a 9-score game. So that will make the end of some games really exciting.
Is there any kickers?
I mean, you can. There's no place kicker for points, but I guess there's a place kicker for kickoffs.
Is there field goals?
No field. Yeah, I think you can go for. Yeah, there must be field goals. There must be field goals, but I don't think that there's. I think they just eliminated the extra point kick. I think that's what they eliminated. I mean, I could go and look it up, but I don't.
Listen. I'll give it a watch.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm
a
nervous
curiosity. It's a curiosity.
It's like the original XFL. I think the quality of the football wasn't there.
Sir, he hate me.
But I think that they had way less time for a training camp, and they rushed the product out, and they did have as big of a pool of players to pull from. Like these days, I think there's more bubble people that aren't in the NFL, or that you could get them coming off of college for a year maybe. Like I think one of the guys was suspended, so he's like, instead of waiting a year to be eligible again to play in college, I'll play a year in the XFL and then get drafted that way.
What are these guys making?
I don't know. We'll have to look that up. I can't imagine it's a ton of money.
Yeah, I can't.
But it's more than.
It's gotta be like, I guess whatever the equivalent to like minor leagues would be.
I don't know. I don't know. Like if it's really a $35,000 salary,
like the AAF or AFF or whatever it was.
It's got to be enough to be worth them doing it, as opposed to like a 15 an hour.
No. They're making some kind of contract.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I'm not saying they're making hourly. But I'm saying like it's got to be worth giving up a job of a certain level to go do it. They're not working for. It's not like arena football where they show up on the weekend and go to their 9 to 5 during the week.
How many teams are there?
I don't know. I know there's 8 teams. I don't know how many weeks that's going to be. It's probably going to be a week or two of playoffs and then a bowl, a championship. I mean, I remember there were. You said he hate me. There were like 2 or 3 names from the original XFL that went to the NFL for a little while. Yeah. He hate me went, but Tommy Maddox was the big deal.
Yeah,
he won the XFL bowl, whatever it was called. I guess he played for LA, whatever their team
made
was.
that $1 million.
Was it $1 million?
Yeah, it was $1 million
for the whole team, though.
I think so. Yeah,
not per person.
Oh, that's right. Ugh. Oh.
So I don't know how many. What if you got a 53-man roster? It's still money. I mean, it's still a decent chunk of change. It's better than nothing.
It's definitely better than nothing.
But he went to Pittsburgh, and I know he was a backup there. I don't know if he was ever the starter. I think he was, at least for a year or two.
Oh, before Roethlisberger?
Yeah. I think he was like a transition guy. And I think he subbed in when Roethlisberger got hurt at certain points. Like maybe didn't Roethlisberger get a motorcycle accident like early in his career?
Yeah, something like that.
And maybe Maddox was playing that. I don't know the things I could research. I'm not going to now because we're actually on the air. Well, quote, on the air, unquote.
I see what you did there.
Parentheses. We could look it up for next time, I guess, if we care. But so I think the XFL could be interesting. It could be a complete shit show. But I think they're taking it more seriously. Like the first one I remember was way more of a WWE product where they had you had announcers like Jerry Lawler and Jesse the Body Ventura calling games.
Oh, it was a fantastic shit show.
And but they had but it was cool. It was cool. It was fun. It was interesting for at least a few weeks.
And that's why.
Like that scramble for the ball thing. As
Oh
opposed to
my
coin
god, I
flip
forgot about that. Yeah,
was pretty fun. And it was and like they innovated the game a little bit in terms of like at least one or two things that
the
got
camera
adopted
system,
by
right?
the NFL. They were the one that had that wire camera that was over the field.
That was definitely awesome.
Which was really cool and innovative. They had I think I remember that it's been a while, but I think I remember that they had cameramen on the field also. Like maybe in the backfield of a play.
Oh.
Not downfield where receivers were running around.
Yeah.
But maybe in the backfield of a play. Like I think there was a guy that had like a steady cam and that he would be close, kind of like close to the line behind like the quarterback and the running back and all that. And then he would run backwards as it got closer to the snap. And I think they had cameramen in the huddles and stuff like that. They tried a lot of stuff, and it was kind of cool. They had the locker room cams where they at halftime. I remember that to get the coaches yelling at the players or whatever.
Anywhere they could put a camera, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were trying to make it more fan accessible and fan friendly and more. I mean, they listened. They were trying to give people a better or more in-depth experience, I guess. Whatever that.
Definitely a different experience.
Whatever that means.
They the first time around they did a lot. The second time I feel as if like they made the conscious decision. Listen, we're not involving the wrestling portion at all. This is all.
Well,
just
it's a
on
separately owned thing, and I think that they're
smart.
treating it first and foremost like a sports product
Yeah.
and trying their best to put a quality product out there as opposed to a show, quote unquote, and but also tweaking the rules to make it different enough to make it exciting and interesting and fast paced.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, I could see them getting some good reviews in terms of some of the rule changes and the NFL maybe considering some of it. I also think two things I like about college football that they didn't adopt, which I think NFL should adopt, is that you should stop the clock when you move the chains.
Yeah.
I think that especially at the end of a game, it's like, look, I mean, if the ref is taking too long to get his hands on the football and put it at the line and the clock's running and it costs you the game, that's inexcusable.
Yeah.
So I don't mind, like on first downs, stopping the clock to move the chains to reset the ball, and then as soon as they're set, the clock goes again. That's fine. I also like in college football that pass interference penalties are only 15 yards. You don't get the spot. That seems like way too much of a, especially if like you get a pass interference call that's suspect, and maybe like they hadn't been calling that all game, and now they call it at the end, and it gives a team a 60-yard play.
Yeah.
You know, that's ridiculous. I like that. They did take the college. I got rules the way you do it, but of catches 1 foot or one body part inbounds instead of two. I don't know how that makes it more of like a definitive catch or not, but
I like the 2 foot rule.
I don't mind the 2 foot rule. It's just a higher level of talent.
Yeah.
Maybe since you're really drawing from college kids,
Keep it
that didn't get drafted and stuff for the XFL.
Keep it a little simple.
Yeah, maybe. Or, I mean, I don't mind it. Either way, I think it's just different. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, tapping 2 feet in is pretty spectacular on some plays, and guys make it. So maybe they just want more catches. They want more catches, want more, the game speed. It's probably a game speed thing also. I know that I don't know how you change it where like the NFL's having that problem where they're fine hairing what a catch is and having to overanalyze this and the other thing for catches, but
yeah, they've taken a little bit of fun out of that. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens. So I wanted to bring up something. and I've been thinking about it, so I wanted to bring it up, see your thoughts on it.
Okay.
I sent you that article the other day. That the big rumor is that Sam Raimi is in talks to direct.
Oh, are we going right into nerd talk?
Oh yeah, buddy. We're from
This
football
is-
to nerd talk. I know. Listen, no warm, smooth transition. We're nice and fucking hard.
This is like
Face
a whole
first.
different like demographic. we're gonna lose listeners, and anyone who would be interested had to sit through football talk beforehand. So this is gonna be fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know I mean, I love the Marvel movies. I don't have any inner workings behind the scenes. I'm not reading a lot of. I try not to read too many spoilers or dirt sheets on Hollywood. But if they're gonna lose the original director, I mean, he seems like a good one because he also Sam Raimi's a pioneer in the horror genre.
And a pioneer in the comic book.
And yeah, so you think like he's made some great horror movies, and he's made 2 good superhero movies. Spider-Man 2 is probably one of the better, until the new Spider-Mans was the best of them. So
it's no longer a standard bearer, but it's still a very strong movie,
Right.
even this time.
I think it's a great choice, and you have to, when you lose a guy who did a great job with the first movie, who people were excited about doing the second movie, and who has horror roots as well, that you had to follow it with something, and I think that this makes a lot of people now not bitch and complain that Derrickson's not doing it,
Yeah.
and that I'm not watching it now. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, Sam, it's like an eyebrow lifter. It's like so it's a good choice. I don't know what the creative differences were. I don't know if it was working within the parameters of Marvel, philosophy, whatever. But I guess if Sam's doing it, that he's signed on to at least
The
whatever Marvel's views on
idea.
this movie were going to be. It's probably I don't know if it's a specific story sticking point was a problem, or if it's the fine line of how much horror to how much comic booky they wanted this movie to be versus the director.
So, the most important question then becomes, if Sam Raimi becomes the director, who is Bruce Campbell going to be?
Oh, it's a
That's
good
the only
question.
question that matters to me.
It's a good question. See, in a lot of Sam Raimi's movies, they would just throw him in, even as a
waiter or a...
yeah. Or but in some cases they like this term fake shemp, which is like they're Stooges fans.
Yeah.
So, like if you look at like Darkman, he's like in the movie at the very end. I think he's now that's the face Darkman wears at the very end of the movie or something, and they just call it fake shemp. Bruce Campbell. So is he going to get a throwaway part, or is he going to get a character with lines and like storyline and at least a small impact,
something,
some significance to what we're watching, or is he just thrown in there because he's his buddy, and it doesn't matter whether he's in there or not? That's the real question. We know he'll be in there. I mean, who knows? I don't know what the movie's about. I don't know what characters are in it. I don't know what villains are in it. So that's all, up in the air. So, does he reprise his role? Because in every Spider-Man movie, he played a different character, right?
Yeah, he was a different character.
He was like the ring announcer in one.
Yeah, and the big rumor was he was going to be
waiter.
a fat, out-of-shape Mysterio in the fourth one. Like the movie from the storyboards that have been released of what they were going to do. The movie was going to open with Spider-Man defeating Mysterio and bringing in Bruce Campbell under the hood and that whole thing, and give that fan moment because everybody wanted Bruce to finally do something, and that would be his moment before moving on to the I think it was the Vulture. I think it was the Vulture and Black.
Black Cat.
The Black Cat. I think that was where he was going, and they were trying to. Oh, and I think was Craven talked about. Craven may have been talked about. They're talking about Craven for the new.
It's
Spider-Man movie.
It's crazy because I was having this discussion with somebody the other day where I don't know that, like, why do we have to have like the new Batman movie has like 4 characters in it, like
It's
not
got a
characters,
lot.
but like
It's got a
four,
lot.
like as like Penguin, Riddler,
Yeah.
Catwoman, and someone else, and you're like why you gotta stuff 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag every time?
But
Same thing with Spider-Man. I feel like the only way that works is the way I would like Spider-Man movies to be, is that they have the format of a Bond movie, where the beginning of the movie is the end of a mission in a Bond movie.
Yeah.
And so, like, the first, 8 minutes or 10
Yeah.
minutes is, like, the climax of the
Yeah.
movie is the final chase scene or whatever it is. No information as to who the characters are.
Yeah.
It doesn't even matter. It's just an action scene. But it's the final, quote-unquote, battle of the movie, of the story, and then the mission's over, he bangs the chick, and he goes back
Yeah.
to mission or whatever, back to Q headquarters, whatever it's called. I'm bad with Bond stuff. And then he gets his new mission, and it's a full story.
Yeah.
That's a great way to do Spider-Man. You don't have to explain who Mysterio or Vulture or whoever you want to throw into that big. That's all going to get picked up on your mic, dude. Don't do that. He's rattling his keys over there or something.
I was
Right on the mic. But have him just be battling a character, a cool character.
Well, it's essentially
Don't explain who it is. Don't give him an origin story. You don't even have to show their face. He's just battling the costume villain at the end of the movie. It's a cool 8-minute fight with his quips and his back and forth. He beats them. He webs them up. Compliments of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man note. And then he goes home, and then it's the next day, and you start your new story.
Well, essentially,
You
that
could
was what
introduce
Spider-Man
a-
4 was going to be. That was.
Well, I don't know what the...
That movie. Well, because I've seen the storyboards, and essentially that was the movie opens with that final battle with Mysterio. And the
Every
movie
Spider-Man
moves
movie
on.
should be that, because he's
Yeah.
got such a pantheon of characters. Him and Batman have the best rogues galleries that, you don't have to cram them all in a movie and have 4 origin stories in one movie and
Yeah.
have this overflow of story. You can just introduce one. We don't have to explain anything to you. He's fighting this cool-looking character. He beats them. They do some cool shit. Bang, bang, bang. Done. And then if you want to bring that character back at another time and give them some depth, great. But at least I just think it's a good format that works for Spider-Man.
That's what I was really hoping for.
That Bond pacing.
I always wanted Spider-Man movie. I wanted every Spider-Man
Structure.
movie to open up the same way. Him punking out Shocker, because they did that in the Ultimate Comics. Every now and then, the comic would open up with him, 10 or 15 issues down the road, would open up with, oh, he defeats the Shocker again. We go on to our main story, and I'm like, that's fantastic.
That's good, but that's a something you do.
But it's
You
always the Shocker.
But I think in a movie that wouldn't work if you do it every single time. But I think something that has more episodes, or
Yeah.
you've seen more, like a TV show.
Yeah.
If you did that every third episode,
Yeah.
then it's repetition. You start to get the joke, but it's not every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be a funny idea. It's
I have a feeling, though, in this Batman movie, a lot of those characters are going to be sidebar characters to the bigger story, because Matt Reeves has definitely said that this is a detective story, not a punch him, hit him kind of story.
Finally.
When he initially said that, the first thing I thought was oh, Ben's finally going to be happy.
The world's greatest detective should solve a crime. And it should be a difficult mystery. It should be a Sherlock Holmes type thing. It's here. Okay.
You've always pointed this out, but do you want to say
I
it on the
keep
podcast?
saying it a million times. There's two. I'm going to make 2 points. He's the world's greatest detective, and he's the best trained fighter in all kinds of martial arts and weapons and whatever. He spent 10 years traveling the world learning from the best. Then you make a movie that reflects that. It's none of them have yet, but I mean, it should be a dark, gritty Seven type feel to it, because Gotham's dark and evil, and death, a lot of death and dark characters and whatever. So you have this mystery to solve, you're trying to find this thing or figure this thing out. And it's the whole movie. And yes, he can fight, and he's got a few gadgets, but those are not gadgets. Shouldn't ever be the emphasis of the movie. The costume shouldn't be the emphasis of the movie. The plane and the car and the batarangs and all that shit should be secondary. It should literally be him solving. You shouldn't even use them at all. Establish, just he has a car. He doesn't need the other shit. He's got a cave. He's got a mansion. He's rich. He's got an alter ego, but he is a detective first and foremost. And yes, he fights street level criminals, and you can punch your movie up with a little action here and there. But mostly, he's just trying to solve this crime, and he's working with Gordon and whatever else. And I've always said, the best Batman movie made is the Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movies. Sorry. And you could draw all your parallels. It's Batman and Robin. You've got a Gordon in Lestrade. You've got an Alfred in, I forget what her name is, but she's the housekeeper. You've got a Catwoman in that other chick. I'm drawing all the blanks. You got a Moriarty, which is your main villain, that can keep returning as you solve other crimes by other villains.
Moriarty's your Joker.
Probably. And in those movies, those two Sherlock Holmes movies, you would remove the humor and you would remove the British accents, but everything else is a Batman movie, including solving the crime and all the characters, but also the action. In those movies, you see Sherlock Holmes right before he's about to fight someone. He sizes a person up. They show him size him up. They show him run the whole fight through his head ahead of time. Bang, bang, bang. And then they show him actually implement it. And I think that's Batman to a T. And
so are you calling Robert Downey Jr. the best Batman so far in cinema?
Yeah, I kind of am.
Oh, well, there you go. It's another.
I'd just say give it a chance. Like if you went and watched both the Sherlock Holmes movies, and you watch them thinking Batman, and you implement, you plug all the characters into your mind, and you watch it, and you go, yeah, this is a Batman movie. It's the closest to what Batman should be.
Well, maybe Robert Pattinson gets it right. We get some Twilight Batman.
It's not up to him.
Well, if it's up to Matt Reeves, we're going to have a fantastic movie because I love Matt Reeves' work.
You get you have to deal with a script and a director. It's not up to him. But yeah, I mean, I like his Planet of the Apes movies, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So the wife and I got the DC Network. Excuse me. She signed up for a trial of the DC Network, and
I saw the comment online.
And we
when you put that meme up about a free trial and we just need your credit card.
Yes, right, sir.
She commented DC Network.
That's right. So we so we started off. She wanted to watch that Harley Quinn animated show.
Not anything good. I could recommend 10 better things on that.
Hold on, because have you seen it?
I'm never gonna watch it. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why before you say how great it is.
Okay.
2 things. It's a fucking cartoon. I got enough live action shit to satisfy me all day long. I'm not a cartoon guy. 2, I'm not a Harley Quinn guy. Those 90s characters that it became so big and everyone loves, Venom, Deadpool, Harley Quinn. I'm not in any of them.
10-4.
I don't dig them. I do like the live action Harley Quinn. I do like the Deadpool movies. And Venom wasn't bad. But in the comics, I can't stand them. I read comics every week still. I don't read Venom. I don't read Deadpool. And I don't read Harley Quinn. I don't like them. The comics. So I figure that the cartoon is going to be way closer to the comics than it is to like the movie stuff.
Not really.
And so I'm not
now this is.
I get it. I like I've said, other friends have said how great Harley Quinn is, and I'm just thinking in my head, as great as you say it is, I'm probably never going to put a cartoon on.
Because it really doesn't have much. I mean, it's her story, but what makes this show great to me is how they've done the DC universe.
They're not.
How they write them.
This is true creators doing it, not like making it sanitized for TV and stuff. I get it. I get that.
Ben, there's more cursing in this fucking show, okay, than most of my day.
I get that stuff, and I think that's probably why people like it, because you're not handcuffed in any way. My only other problem is that I haven't looked at it, but I have a real problem watching animation that isn't good animation.
It's great animation.
Dude, I've watched those DC animated things. The
I
animation
enjoy it, man.
Is not up to snuff. I need like I'm more on the Akira side of things.
Oh my god!
I'm not asking for it to be Akira, but I need it to be more like that than South Park. You understand what I'm saying?
Pretentious Ben over here.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be Akira, or it's not
Well,
worth watching.
No, I didn't say that, but we can be Mr. Hyperbole.
I will.
It
shows Stephen A. Smith well.
My problem is that it's a visual medium, and if the animation looks shitty, it bothers me.
Bro, Clayface, King Shark. I mean, they make some really one of the most obscure characters, and beyond, I had forgotten he existed, and maybe he's made up for this show, but I could have sworn I've seen him in a Batman comic at least once, and a long time ago, and maybe it was a joke, but they have Kite Man.
Oh, Kite Man's a regular running thing. There was like recently he was in the comics
He
again.
is fantastic in this show.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's Harley Quinn's story.
Because creators love using weirdo characters.
But it's what they do with what they do with Joker and Harley's relationship. Just Joker himself. Like, they really, really did a great job.
I'm sure it's cool. I just have a hard time watching animation.
I understand. Next, though, I want to look up, because I've yet to see anything of Titans, or
I honestly, Doom Patrol should be your next stop.
Yeah, I haven't watched Doom Patrol either.
Doom Patrol should be your next stop. That's the best show they made. Titans was cool, but it's too. Again, I never was into Titans, the comics, never. I'm less of a DC fan than I am a Marvel fan, but I never liked the Titans. I never was able to really stick with it much, other than like maybe in the old days, like the old '80s.
Oh
stuff.
wow!
Like the Perez run with Deathstroke and Trigon and all that crap. But the show's all right, and it's kind of cool to see characters you would never think you'd see in live action costumes, like Hawk and Dove, and I like some of those actors, which we could get into, but it's all going to be obscure stuff, like Minka Kelly, who was in Friday Night Lights, and the dude that plays Hawk, who was in Blue Mountain State, which is one of the greatest shows ever. If you've never seen it,
we're fourth podcast in. We finally got our first Friday Night Lights reference.
Yeah, I will continually shame you that you don't watch Friday Night Lights.
So everybody could be up to pace. The ongoing joke is Friday Night Lights is the greatest show ever, and
It's
I
not a
refuse to
joke.
watch it.
It's one of the top 5 TV shows of all time.
And I don't refuse to watch it for any other reason than I like seeing Ben get riled up.
Yeah,
That I have no time. I have no time to.
You have time for all this other shit. You watch shit you've seen before. You have time for Friday Night Lights.
I watch what my wife wants to watch.
Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. I may have to deal with your wife. I'll tell you, she'd like it too. It's like it's got a lot of like drama stuff going on. It's high school drama.
What's Megan Kelly doing in
Minka?
Titans?
She's Dove.
Is she?
Yeah.
Was it her that George Miller supposed Justice League from like 10 years ago? Wasn't she supposed to be Wonder Woman?
I don't think so. I have no idea. It sounds completely 100% off the top shelf of your ass. Way in the back.
But I'm really convinced. So I've convinced myself.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the weed, though.
Really reach in your ass.
Well,
and off the top shelf to pull that one out.
I can reach really high, Ben. So.
I know, you're tall. Yeah, I would say Doom Patrol is by far their best show. And then like Swamp Thing, like the early episodes before they got the early cancellation and they had to abridge the show from 13 to 10 episodes.
That's a shame.
Yeah, they really fucked that show. But they had the budget on it, I couldn't believe. It was like $80 million for 13 episodes on a streaming service that no one's going to watch. I was like, that's fucking crazy.
That first couple episodes must be fantastic.
They're great. Because it's real horror. And Len Wiseman is the producer and directed the pilot for that. So it's like, I mean, if you know who he is.
I know Len Wiseman.
Underworld.
Underworld.
That kind of stuff.
Live Free, Die Hard.
Yeah. But he did a good job. But the Doom Patrol, like every episode, that was like one of those shows where like, see on the DC app, I think they release them weekly. Yeah, see.
Harley Quinn's come out weekly, I know.
So, like, the other shows I waited for them to all come out
yeah.
and then watch at once. But Doom Patrol was like, every week was like, I had to watch it. I wasn't going to wait, you know.
I mean, they're smart in that way with their weekly offerings because the shows are pretty strong. So there's a reason for having to get people to keep up having the network.
I don't know what that is. If that's, we want you to log onto the network more often instead of just watching it as a batch, or if we want to get you for more months of subscription. I'm not sure what it is because
what that is.
It could also be that we don't want you to just turn on the app 4 times a year to watch your shows. Maybe we want you to use the app more often and find other stuff.
So they can get their advertisement dollars.
I don't even know if there's advertisement.
I honestly don't know either. She has all that.
I think I watched all my DC stuff on a questionable.
Fucking pirate you.
Arg. But I think I watched on some other questionable thing. I mean, I wouldn't mind. I don't mind paying whatever $8 a month.
Speaking of piracy,
well, you're the Segway king today.
Tonight is good old John Jones.
Oh, is there a fight tonight?
Yeah, John Jones and the guy he's going to beat tonight, Dominic Reyes. There you go. That's
are you admitting to a crime ahead of time here?
I'm just asking if a crime can be committed or if the technology isn't there.
Oh, my roommate has a box of some sort that used to get all kinds of unofficial things in unofficial ways, but I don't think we've really fired that up in like a year. I think it would be a nightmare of like updating software and apps and then it's still not working and me wanting to punch a hole in drywall after fucking with it for an hour.
I'll consider, because it's he's in the main. The Shevchenko is the sub main. It's a fairly strong card, but I'm on the teetering edge of. Well, I can if I want to, and obviously if set aside money for the bigger fights. But it's like one of those things where it's like
set aside money.
I set aside money.
You've got like 20 jobs. You're balling.
Dude, balling is not the word I want to use. Balling would necessitate we'd be in a studio right now. If balling was
BAWLING. Crying.
I can't think of a funny or a funny lesser term for balling. Scraping by is what I'll use. But I have set aside money because I listen, I have very few luxuries when you work fucking 16-hour days, and one of them is I like watching fights. So, leading 2020, I'm like, I'll start paying for fights. That way, we don't have to fuck with the box. But it's John Jones, and I'm just like, is this fight going to be worth it? Is it just going to be another 5 rounds of him peppering some dude and winning on points? Like it's been since he came back?
I don't know.
Since he knocked out Cormier, it's been lackluster after lackluster fight. And it's not on him. There's just nobody for him. I mean, Gustafsson was the only one you thought, like, yeah, we want to stick at one of this. And after that first round, you're like, nah, man, we're good.
Are you satisfied with a quick finish, too?
We got that with Connor.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
$70 for 40 seconds.
Or do you only want, like, a 3.5 round drag-out brawl, and that's the only thing that makes you happy?
I'd like a really competitive fight that ends in, like, 3 rounds. Yeah. I'd be fine with that.
So, a long fight or a short fight, unless it's got a lot of, like, razzmatazz.
It needs to last more than 40 fucking seconds, I'll tell you that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like you just said, you said it looks like a decent card. Yeah. That's your call, man. But I'm down if you get it. I'm not into UFC enough these days to. Plus, my money's put aside for AEW pay-per-views, so we should probably do a watch along for one of those.
I still haven't seen a single AEW show.
Yeah, you have.
No, I mean since they went on TV, I haven't.
Oh.
I watched the first pay-per-view. Like I've seen like the stuff before, but once they became like an actual product that is, on a weekly television show, I haven't seen a single episode. Only thing I can tell you is that that Cassidy, the guy with the hands in his pockets,
Orange Cassidy,
yeah.
freshly squeezed.
I am 100% mark for him, and I hope he gets paid a lot of money to do nothing but what he's doing for the rest of his career.
I'll tell you this: they have hits and misses, but they have way more. I think they hit way more than they miss these days. They did the final, like there's all these stipulations to granting Cody a rematch with MJF, and the
Who's
one
MJF?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Okay, you see, you're really out of it. He's one of their top guys.
Okay.
He's good. He's young, but he's really good. He's like a five-star athlete, five-tool athlete kind of deal, where he does everything well: promos, wrestling, look, et cetera, et cetera. So the stipulation this week was that Cody had to take 10 lashes.
Like the Tommy Dreamer thing?
I don't know what the Tommy Dreamer thing is.
Where after the India to take 10 cane shots from Sandman?
Well, no, this is I'll only grant you this match if you do this, this, and this. And this week it was take 10 lashes.
It's just the fucking 1800s?
Yeah, it's lucky they're all white because this was going to get...
What the fuck?
Yeah. So what happens is the last like 20 minutes of the show is him taking 10 lashes. They stretch it 20 minutes, but they do it amazingly. Like over the course of that time, it's not like they do Gaga and then lash him quickly 10 times. Like the whole 20 minutes is the 10 lashes. And he'll take one, and then he's dealing with it, and then someone comes out to help him deal with it. Like Arn comes down to give him support, and then he'll take another one, and then Brandy comes down with tears in her eyes going, "You've got this, baby." And also with it, given it 20 minutes, the welts on his back are getting more, like usually they don't get really bad till they're backstage. They put a picture on Instagram or something.
I am a fan of
but
old
this
school
is
storytelling.
One of them looked like it drew blood and
Yeah.
whatever, and then MJF's dealing with people and brilliantly dragged out 10 lashes for 20 minutes. The crowd was into it the whole fucking time. Like, they're just doing things that are different.
Yeah.
And they're doing them well, or a lot of them are doing well. And it's just cool.
And
they're developing a lot of new characters that are
hear
that are
10
getting
lashes
over.
been, and you're like,
Yeah.
all right, okay.
Yeah.
Go about that way, I suppose.
But I'm like, you're thinking, how is this going to work? And they made it work like to perfection.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Well,
It was great TV.
Well, good for Cody and his 10 lashes.
Yeah. He got marked up pretty damn good.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose.
Yeah, he's making enough where it's worth it.
Oh yeah. And besides which, it's like, you don't even have to tell me content-wise between the two promotions, or excuse me, the two products, I shall say. Like, AEW's got the better product. You don't have to. I don't even have to. I just had to watch enough WWE to know, AEW's got the better product.
Like, pound for pound guys, at this point, obviously WWE has more talented people, but they're not used.
No.
They're not maximized. And what AEW is doing, I feel like in some places they're not, but in a lot of ways they are literally getting the most bang for their buck out of their people and letting them be free and be creative. And that's, like, again, I think a question that WWE's had for a long time of that, like, that these people are being caged in and not be able to reach their full potential because of, like, restrictions and
another reason
over coaching and over all that stuff.
And another reason I think AEW really has, at least at this moment, the product they do is, for a lot of these guys, 90% of their fucking roster, there were no other alternatives. They was, spend enough time doing what you're doing to maybe get the call one day, maybe have an opportunity, maybe spend some time in NXT or whatever it might be, and, like, you might in 10 years become a Joe or an AJ or something like that, but more than likely not. And now there's an opportunity for them to sell themselves on national television, and they're giving it everything they've got. Yeah. And I think that kind of motivation is something that WWE can't have, because, like, you're there, you're paid, and you know that
it's very rare someone's going to get signed by the WWE now that isn't already a top talent.
Exactly.
Like that, if they poach someone from AEW back.
Yeah.
But it's like it's kind of like the equivalent of, like, some of these colleges now. Like, you can be, like, Alabama goes to recruit you, and it's like, well, you're going to be, like, the 5th quarterback.
Yep.
And maybe you'll start in your senior year, or you can go start freshman year over here. Yeah. And it's like, well, what do you want to do? It's going to be very rare that WWE signs a guy and throws him on the main roster. I think the last time they did that
Was AJ?
AJ.
Yeah.
And his boys.
But his
I
boys
think everyone
only
else
because
has
of AJ.
gone. Yeah, everyone else has gone through the NXT pipeline, and now it's almost like
They're sending him back.
it's almost like
Balor went back.
Yeah, but it's also like they've tried to elevate NXT to be on TV and be the third brand and be co-equal.
Yeah.
So it feels like that, but now, but you're not going to go direct to that even now.
Yeah.
You're going to be on NXT UK or like I don't know what they've got, Evolve or OVW or you're not signed and then right on. And I think AEW, if they sign you, it's because they're going to use you
Yeah.
right away.
Well, it's
There
like-
are a lot of people they've signed that I'm like, where are these people?
But
I don't watch the dark stuff, but I
you've
think
got some kind of creative input in AEW. They get to go, hey, listen, this is what we want out of you, and you get to go, okay, well, to do this, this is how I feel we should go about it.
but go back to the other thing for a second. Now that I'm thinking about it, there are people like that I remember seeing sign like a Sonny Kiss or Sadie Gibbs.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen them on the shows really at all. So I don't know what their strategy. I don't know. They may have signed people that then they realize they can't use. I don't know.
Like you mean AEW?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be for several reasons.
Yeah.
You know.
Someone
They might have some guys on the payroll just so Vince doesn't get them.
I don't think they can operate that way.
I don't know. They got Tony Khan money.
Yeah, but he's still on a budget. They're not.
We assume.
Yeah.
I mean, we make a lot of assumptions, but to be quite honest, there might be people that Cody or the Bucks, because they're deeply rooted in the indie scene still, where like they might get ickies on people that are really young and like, hey man, in 2-3 years this guy's gonna be somebody.
Yeah, well, I know that I think they did start a training center.
Yeah,
but also I think that they may have an issue where they're like, they really liked someone that they saw or worked with on the indie circuit before this, and brought them in, and then realized this isn't going to work the way we thought it was going to work.
but we're gonna take
like
care
this
of you
person
anyway.
doesn't understand what a hard cam is, and we
Yeah.
can't nail it through their head, kind of thing. Maybe it's some of that stuff. I don't know, or that oh shit, this person can't talk. I don't know. I don't know what, but it's I mean that should all work out. But
Yeah.
it does rise the tide. There are now more opportunities to make money, and and people getting paid more elsewhere because now there's another place with deep pockets that might steal your talent.
And it's awesome, but like just from what little I've seen, it's almost as if the WWE has just gone, yeah, okay, whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, you can have that mindset now, but I hope you're paying attention because it could easily be a reverse WCW gimmick with AEW if the cards, because it's certainly not going to be a financial issue. It's going to have to be they sink the ship on their own, not we ran out of money. They're not going to run out of money as long as they're still successful.
Well, they've at least short term they've got they've extended their deal with TNT, and TNT bought a second show.
Well, there you go. There's already the signs that something positive is happening, and they understand that what's going to take years to get to where they want to go. They're on that path, which I feel is fantastic because that just means that this, and that's the great thing of having a guy like Tony Khan in your back pocket helping you out doing this because
I don't.
He's just to have fun,
but it's not helping out. He's doing it. It's
Well,
it's his
Well,
show.
yeah. But when it comes to like, hey, I've met a money mark to run his show. There's very few people I could think of better suited, being a wrestling fan, understanding, and the single most important aspect, understanding the need to delegate.
Right. Well,
not that Vince McMahon, Jerry Jones type, Donald Trump type logic where I'm just going to do everything myself. That, hey, I am good in this field, but in order to be good here, I need someone to do this. And I need to find him.
Hopefully he's good at firing people when he's not happy with them.
Well, that we'll know in
And-
time.
Yeah. But I assume coming from NFL and the soccer leagues that he's already dealt with that. Okay, so forget that. I'm going to be the Segway King now.
Ooh.
I got two things I want to talk about, and then we're getting the fuck out of here.
10-4.
First of all, we did talk up the Super Bowl last week, and we were all excited about our friend being in it.
Ooh.
And
I didn't want to bring it up.
That took a sour turn when the 49ers thought that the game only had 3 quarters. And again, not his fault. Earl did his part, but
It was
and
cool
we're not gonna,
seeing him
I don't wanna,
on the field.
I don't want to
playing.
analyze it. Get no reason to talk about the game or the coaching or play calling or any of that.
Yeah.
Do that another time if we wanted to, maybe with Earl. But like you said, it was cool to see our friend on TV, on the field, playing in a Super Bowl.
It was. It was.
And
really
it was very
cool.
exciting when we thought he was going to win.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
it
still,
was.
I mean, you got to, let me tell you something, man. Like, I felt like afterwards, that night I'm sitting there and I'm like thinking, what do I do? Like, how do you handle this? It's like, do I reach out and say something like, sorry about your loss? Or,
You know what is funny? I was having the same
hey,
thought.
man. And I'm like, I started writing and I forget what I wrote. I should look it up and read it verbatim. But it was something to the fact like, hey, man, like, sorry it didn't go your way today. I feel awkward even writing this.
You're mourning the loss of a child.
Yeah, I feel like I'm right. It's starting to feel like someone died or something. And I was like, anyway, I'm sure you're getting a bunch of these, so I'm not gonna, I'm not expecting like, I didn't even know what to write. I was like, dude, I don't even know what to say. But I mean, you're a friend. We got your back. Let's, sorry, I feel bad. I feel like shit. I know you do too. And I was just like, you got my sympathy, as awkward as this is. It was the most awkwardly written thing. But I felt like being supportive. I don't know what, like, it's just a game at the end of the day. And he got
paid.
And again, he got paid and he got to be in the Super Bowl. So like at the end, listen, he never even thought he was going to ever play in a Super Bowl. So that alone is pretty cool.
I think the fact
But to get that close and have that lead,
yeah,
it's got to hurt. It's got to hurt. And I'm sure we'll talk with him about it. But I still until I'm like with him, I'm not going to like do it on.
It's funny because I pretty much feel the exact same way because it was like one of those things where I explained it to one of my coworkers when they're like, well, how do you feel about the game? I was like, it sucks because I really wanted to see my friend get a ring. And to see him play meaningful snaps in a Super Bowl was really cool.
Yeah.
Like to see his number
so
on
still
the
so
field,
surreal that we knew someone.
it was really cool. And I'm really and like Earl's one of the coolest dudes. He totally deserved that opportunity, and to see him be able to play meaningful snaps in the Super Bowl was crazy. It was fucking awesome. I'm so happy for him. And he got paid. But on the other hand,
I mean, I forget. We were looking up what you make for the Super Bowl, and I don't remember what the money was. But it's
good.
It's better than It's better than retirement money.
On a pure business level, Earl had a fantastic year. But
he would have. Well, I mean,
I'm sure he wanted to be on a team.
If he was on a team.
I'm sure he wanted to be on a team, and he wanted to play a whole season. But like he totally Brock Lesnar'd it. Yeah. Came in for the playoffs, and I'm so happy for him. But it was kind of cool seeing Andy Reid finally win.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Chiefs are unlikable.
It was one of those things where if our boy Earl wasn't on the 49ers, I would have 100% wanted to see
100%.
Kansas City win that
100%.
game. So it was like this weird rooting
I have no
interest.
other interest in 49ers.
Yeah, it was this weird rooting interest where we're just like, man, I really want to see my friend get that ring. And on the other hand, you're like, but I also really want to see and let's be honest, like Patrick Mahomes is really coming out as like that next head kind of like league figurehead like player that we talk about for years to come. He is no situation is too big for him.
He'll be in this next class of Aaron Rodgers,
Yeah.
Peytons, and
yeah.
Eli's.
So that was cool to see him kind of arrive like that. because he hit adversity and then ended strong because it's just a strong opening quarter and a half. Then he had a little bit of down. He threw those picks and shit. But then he came back and he really did finish strong.
Yeah, he'll be one of the top guys.
Yeah.
And he'll get to more.
And seeing some Dolphin players, win in Miami when they, like David
Former
Williams.
Dolphins.
Because let's be honest, if Mahomes hadn't gotten that MVP, it would have been Williams, 100%.
So
that was pretty cool to see.
So it's been a week, and so the hangover's over.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, but it was a great game. It just didn't go our way.
Yeah.
And so then to our final topic about things not going our way. Was last week, after you and I recorded our deal, I was expecting the arrival of Anthony.
Oh, no. AJ, the comments and emotions expressed from here on out do not strictly...
So... So...
I'm so sorry, man.
No, fuck that guy.
Oh.
So Anthony, our co-founding Breakfast Club member, brother, whatever, was, well, first of all, let's go back. We knew he was going to be coming into town. He was wrestling a shit show on Friday. That was like at 10 o'clock at night for some reason.
Publix.
And like 18 people just popped, and that's it. And originally, the discussion was he was going to come in early so that he could hang out for the week, but catch the Pizza Rumble and hang out for the Royal Rumble and be with his friends and yada yada. And of course, as the time got closer, he started to pretend like he didn't know nothing, and then he lets us know that he's not coming. So, but he is in town this last week, and the discussion is, oh, come in. A, we'll see each other, which, friends do sometimes. And B, let's record a podcast since we're starting to get these off the ground. And originally I was hoping he could come, we could all do it together. But he was like, oh, I have a business, I'm here, he's here for work. So he was like meeting in the area and was going to be here in the afternoon. So I'm like, okay. Here's my address, blah, blah, blah. You have it already, but here it is again. Whatever. And he's like, yeah, cool. I'll see you then. Don't think anything of it. And then I'm just like sitting around here, my dick in my hand, as no shows and no calls. And I'm like, all right. And I left all this we have a very amateur podcasting setup here, but it's a couple mics and wires and a little board and a laptop, and it all plugs in, and I set it up in the living room and we do it. And so I left it all set up for like 5 hours. And then I'm finally like, this motherfucker is just not, he's not even going to treat me with the respect of a friend or a professional. Like if you were at work and you had to go meet someone or someone was waiting on you and you were running late or wasn't going to make it, you give him a heads up at least. Yeah. But this cocksucking son of a bitch, no show, no call, no nothing. And then when I call him out on it later in our group chat, it's all his reply is, "Oh, I'm never going to hear the end of this," as opposed to like, "Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. You're right. I should have at least let you know," and not treat you like some girl I'm ghosting from Tinder after I fucked her. Yeah. It's like. Just treat me better than that, you fat fuck. And so here we are, where I still have heat over it. I'm a little bitter on it. And then and then today, to add a little fucking salt in the wound, I'm looking on Facebook, and there he is in his travels with his work and whatever in fucking, I don't know, South Carolina or wherever it is. Oh, there he is visiting his friend there and hanging out with them and posting on Facebook and rubbing my nose in the shit again about how he couldn't bother to even just let me know he couldn't come or change the plans or let's reschedule. But JoJo, he can go fucking hang out with? Oh. No offense to JoJo, it's not about him. I'm not saying I'm better than him or he's better than me, or I'm worth hanging out more or whatever, or that his excuse, oh, they had a free meal and I needed a place to sleep. It's like, this is just all, it's just all fucking piles on the pile here.
All he wanted was a phone call, AJ. Just
Well,
a phone
it's
call.
just, dude, it's not about you coming or not. It's like, I'm a big boy. If you're not coming, I'll live. But you got to tell someone so they're not sitting here waiting or expecting you.
You left him hanging,
Whatever.
AJ.
Yeah. And it's not my job to chase after you. It's not my job to be like every half hour, hey, what's up? You still coming? What's going on? Haven't heard from you.
You're like a
man.
You're like a scorned Tinder date.
Well, I'm not. He's trying to treat me like one.
Oh.
I'm not acting like one.
Oh.
I am just stating the facts. And that, like, I'm better than I deserve a little more respect than a rat you stick your dick in and never talk to again, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Just the courtesy of a nice friendly message.
We've been friends.
Even text message. You didn't like smoke signal you.
Friends for a long time.
Oh my goodness.
This is how you do me, pal. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know if there's any way to come back fully, is what I'm saying. I think that the trust issue will always be there with me and him now.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is you're laying it on thick here, buddy. Hear that?
Yeah,
AJ?
I know.
Laying it on thick.
I'm being a bit of a showman with it, but he can go eat a dick. He can eat a bag of dicks, not only for no show, no call, but for then afterwards not even be like to acknowledge that he did anything wrong. You know, still hasn't, and I think that's part of his shtick. I think he knows that now he's not going to acknowledge it because it's just like I called it out and whatever. So, all right, fuck me, but fuck him more.
Well, there's some of the inner workings of the breakfast.
It's 2:30 now, so we'll. The XFL started too. I recorded it because I figured we were going to run long.
I don't want to in the podcast, especially this one after what we were talking about earlier on any other way. But come back to us, Drew. We love you. Come back to us.
Are we?
No, we just want our friend back.
Wait a minute, but I don't even know why he's not talking to us. So I don't know if we want to make this a thing.
No, I just.
Well, you're kind of publicing it.
I
may have to trim this out.
we're
Until we've got some confirmation on what the
trigger
problem
Blake?
is. I don't think it's about Blake. I think it's about Drew.
Oh.
I don't want to put him on the spot and piss him off if
fine.
he doesn't have heat with us. Or
I
if
don't
he
think
does. Or if he does.
No, I just think he's doing his thing right now.
Him putting I'm cutting all this. This isn't even going in, so either that or I'm bleeping it, and I don't really want to do the extra work. So maybe that, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.